Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Block Theater. And tomorrow is the 13th of January, 2020, and it feels like a bit of a fitting day. It feels like a good day because normally on the 13th, bad things happen. But tomorrow, we get the first look at Morbius, the Living Vampire, the Jared Leto film that's going to be in the Sony Cinematic Universe or the Sony Marvel Universe. And it's going to be the second film post Venom. But we got ourselves a hot little leak today, a hot little tip that shows us kind of where this movie is going to be taking place. And this actually started off yesterday as a rumor that popped up on Twitter, and it's fascinating that it actually came through in the way that it did. So first, let's take a look here at the rumor so we know where to begin this whole situation. So over on Twitter, an account by the name of DR Movie News posted this full Morbius scoop, saying not only will J.K. Simmons have a supporting role, JJ interviews Dr. Michael Morbius on the Daily Bugle, but Spider-Man will have a presence in the film via wanted posters, thus taking place after Far From Home. The MCU and Sony Spider-Verse are bridged. And this is what people have been wanting. This is what people have been asking for. This is what the whole fight last summer over Spider-Man, will he or won't he in the MCU, was a big part of when it came to fans. Fans wanted this because they want the MCU whole. And Sony, as I kept saying, and I believe time and time again, I keep getting proven right on, was dumb to not go for this. So they show us here just a couple images giving us a good old look at JJ. I love, look, you've no idea how much I love the fact that J.K. Simmons is back. Like, I love it. Like, when I found that out and I saw that in the movie, it was spoiled for me before, but when I saw it in the theater anyway, I didn't care. I still cheered. I still loved it. I just loved the fact that they got him back. Seeing him go up against Tom Holland Spider-Man is going to be a lot of fun. And of course, giving us a look at Morbius here, which looks pretty good. And people are actually pretty excited for this. Never mind the fact that there's a lot of trepidation surrounding this movie right off the bat. And anyway, the scoop continues. He says here, from what I've gathered, the Sony Spider-Verse events and plot points will only be referenced in Spider-Man films and not in other Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. The Spider-Man MCU films will affect Sony films, but Sony films won't affect the MCU, and this should be interesting. And of course, giving us a collage here again of Morbius. We've got Venom, which that's still like the best shot of that movie. Cletus Cassidy, which, man, I'm looking forward to seeing how they bring that guy in, and then showing us this. So this is what everyone's wanted. The Sony connection to be a big part. They've wanted the Sony connection to find a way to work. Now, this is a weird thing in regards to like how the universes are going to kind of work together. But I think Feige is open enough to working around that, right? And I think they should. I really think they should come together on this one. If it just even occasionally reference something would be fine. Finishing up here. He says here, okay, not literal wanted posters. Obviously, the movie doesn't take place in the Old West. By saying this, we mean background references to Spider-Man. Everyone is looking for him after the shocking events of Far From Home, where we got this nice gif here of Spider-Man responsible for the death of Mysterio. And it's just, this is from the Daily Bugle bit that ended up popping out online. So what we know, or what we can ascertain from this, is that when we look at Morbius and we see him in this movie, and we see what's going to be coming, it's going to be kind of interesting to see where things go with Spider-Man himself, because we don't know what they're going to do in the background. Well, we didn't know. We kind of know now. So this is a leak. This is a potential spoiler. You have been warned. This is a screenshot of what's been making its rounds today. This is a shot from the trailer tomorrow. And we see here Jared Leto in what appears to be prison attire with some kind of robe or blanket, walking past a poster of Spider-Man, or it could just be a painted mural of Spider-Man, and somebody had graffitied the word murderer on it. And that is effing sane, because that's something that a lot of people out there have been losing their mind over. But they've also noticed one little thing about this. They've noticed that the suit is different from what we know of the Tom Holland Spider-Man. The suit looks really different. The suit looks kind of like it came from a previous trilogy of Spider-Man films. And if this movie is going to reference events in the MCU, but not previous Spider-Man movies, isn't that something? Well, Yeah, but where did this suit come from? Well, this is actually a shot of the Sam Raimi suit from the Spider-Man PS4 game. And I love it. In my mind, look, there's no better way for Sony to reference Sony than by doing this. So you can see here that there's another shot of the Raimi suit. And look, it's a fan favorite suit. It's totally a fan favorite suit. This great shot here, just seeing it in action and then seeing it up against this. It kind of looks the same, doesn't it? Right? It's the same kind of look, but just the same over here. So yeah, they took a screenshot from the Spider-Man PS4 game and they graffitied it on the wall. Obviously done, most likely through CG after the fact, and that's going to end up being what they showcase in the movie is what we see. So we're not going to see the Tom Holland Spider-Man suit, but we're going to see references to Spider-Man, maybe Tom Holland, Peter Parker faces, but that'll be about it. And there's a reason why. But before we jump into the reason why, I just want to confirm a little bit more about this so people know that it's real. So here's the shot from the trailer, and then here's a behind-the-scenes shot of Jared Leto in the prison attire. So we know that this is contained within. So this is definitely something that's going to be in the trailer when it drops tomorrow. And as always, I think I'll be breaking it down like everybody else will be breaking it down. But here's the reason why we have the Raimi suit and not the Tom Holland suit. And it has everything to do with the deal that Marvel and Sony struck. So when they got together in 2015 and they hammered out that deal to bring Spider-Man into the MCU, they basically had to create a separate universe. They had to create a separate look. So Tom Holland wasn't going to be, his Peter Parker wasn't Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield. Aunt May got younger, right? They moved from a house in Queens to an apartment in Queens. Little details. Mary Jane not being a redhead. That's one I still have some issue with, even though I do like Zendaya in the role quite a bit. I still would like her to be a redhead. That's a canon thing. You're not going to be able to get me away from that one. And so they can't reference any of the other stuff really in these Sony movies that are connected to the Spider-Man. They can't reference it. They can't show the suit, but they can show a Raimi suit because while people like you and me that are eagle-eyed viewers of the Easter eggs here, while we will look at that and we will go, oh, snap, that's a Raimi suit. The average person isn't going to know that it's a Raimi suit. The average person isn't going to care that it's a Raimi suit. All they're going to see is just Spider-Man. That's all they're going to see is Spider-Man. And so just seeing Spider-Man is all they're going to care about. And that's what's going to trigger the emotion, trigger the look. And they're going to go, oh, damn, he's a murderer. Okay, so people really believe that he killed Mysterio. Okay, this is going to take place after the events of Far From Home. Is it going to continue the story at all from Far From Home? Are we going to get any bit of updates on what happened to Peter Parker? And the answer to that is probably no. We're probably not. Now, we might get like Peter Parker's on the run. We might get, police have been investigating Peter Parker. People have been trying to figure this out. There might be some reference to that. There might be some reference to the snap, right? Or the blip. There might be some reference to something that ends up like giving us a bit of a better view of where things went with Tom Holland and his Spider-Man. But the fact that Sony actually made the reference and we know that it's legit. Whereas in Venom, there was no reference. Even though Kevin Feige gave notes in Venom, there was never any actual reference to Spider-Man in that movie. Eddie Brock moved from New York to San Francisco. So the question becomes, in Venom 2, which is filming right now, will Peter Parker make an appearance in San Francisco because he's on the run from New York and he just happens to find his way on the other side of the country and ends up needing to help out Eddie Brock take on Carnage? I don't know. I mean, I think that would be fans would lose their mind over that. And then that movie wraps up and he ends up going back to New York because he finds a way to clear his name. All I'm saying is they could make this work in a way that's going to be excellent and running ancillary to the MCU rather than being a separate universe. Because fans are so tired of the separate universes, right? They're so tired of all of that stuff. And I think people out there that see this image here and they go, man, that's cool. They're the audience that Sony is looking for. People like me that see this and go, look, I know the details. I know what happened. I know why this is happening, but I'm so on board with seeing this because it just shows me that in this universe, they actually are going to be somewhat connected, which means that the door is open for the inevitability, and it is an inevitability, for these characters to merge, to come together, to do all these things. And just to see more Spider-Man in general is always a good sign for me because he's my favorite character. Like, I love Spider-Man. And so giving us more in that world is just awesome. And I really am curious now to see what Sony's doing. And this is the first time I've been somewhat excited about a Sony-led Spider-Man movie that's not being influenced by Marvel. I liked Venom. I did. I really enjoyed Venom for what it was, and I'm looking forward to Venom 2. Perhaps after all of these years, they have finally turned over a new leaf. Because keep in mind, it's been 12 years since Spider-Man 3, almost 13 years since Spider-Man 3. They've maybe turned over a new leaf, and they've been like, maybe we know how to do this now. And if that's the case, that's pretty freaking cool. So anyway, I'm just curious to know your guys' thoughts on this one. Do you think that that this is good news, bad news, or the other? I'm curious to know. Let me know down in the comments. I'll talk to you guys all later. Have yourself a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, go ahead and type Morbius into the comment box so I know. And those of you who do, you guys make my day, by the way. And subscribe, like, all that jazz. Have yourself a good one, guys, and peace out.